welcome to the first episode of the Being and Doing podcast. And I try here to explore the unique minds that are all around us and bring you stories, their stories, that will hopefully challenge, maybe inspire and stimulate your being. And this episode is actually very personal because the podcast is my way of trying to find my voice. And today I'm interviewing the person whose voice I have admired for many years. And today with me is Sandra Sangao. And the reason she's here with me and the impression I have of her is that she feels life with her whole being. And that beauty and that love for life is something I wanted just to share with her. And then maybe explore something more, but just this sharing is already a very important part of the process for me. And the second reason I wanted Sandra here is to talk about the voice, to talk about what does the voice mean to her, and how does she nurture her inner voice, and how does she project that voice into society and into the world. So welcome, Sandra. And I had an idea to start this podcast with introducing you through your voice. So I'm curious if you would be willing to share a song that is close to your heart to start this podcast.
Thank you so much, the first thing. And then I will sing just a phrase. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el amor y la ilusión. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto. And it means, thank you, life, that it gave me everything, that it gives me everything. It's yeah.
I will just take a moment to just feel the chills. I actually heard that in some theaters, people don't clap for the first 5 minutes in order for the sound to sink in. So yeah, I feel like this is the moment for some things to sink in. Thank you very much. So I would like to start the podcast or this episode with who is Sandra Sangao?
It's hard to tell. What I can tell you is how I feel now. I just, it was my birthday just 5 days ago, and I turned 33 years old. And for me, it's a special number, really, really special number. Yeah, there's something, I don't know, something magical. And I think I'm living a rebirthing, you know, having my second child now. And after my 33 anniversary, I really feel something changed. You know, it's weird because it's not that life changes one day to another, but I feel something there very deep where I feel I integrate better all the things that I had in mind that was good life for me, you know. And now it's like I'm living there more and more in my body. I'm feeling more and more this. Not only I'm thinking that, yes, for living better for me is this, yeah, but now it's just embody all this, no? So I think I can tell you that I'm in a very special place right now.
And I'm curious, if you are to identify several aspects of your personality, because I know you as a singer, and I'm sure there is much more to you than this. And now we know you are a mom, you're a wife. What else is Sandra Sangao?
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell, but it's a good exercise. So, yes, I'm a person who is really curious, first about human being and life. This is the first thing. Voice comes after that, you know, and because voice for me is like a tool to that I have this gift. So this way I connect. I can perceive the world through the sound, through the voices of the people, through my voice. I can liberate myself through the voice, but it's always been this. I'm in love with the human being and with life. I want to understand more. I have an active mind, but I've learned to use my mind for good things for me, you know. And when I feel that I have thoughts that are against me, against life, against the others, I can see it and I can transform it. You know, it's like a motor, because of course my mind will always have the will to control everything. But now I think I can see this, and for me this is very important, because as I have an active mind, sometimes was a problem for me in the past. No, I'm a very slow person. What I've seen after all these years is that I cannot go with the time that people ask me to go. General people, you know, general society. And also, I cannot go with the velocity that my mind thinks I can go. So I tell you that I'm a slow person, but it's just comparing with who I thought I should be, you know. What else? Yes, I have something innate in me that is, it's easy for me not to judge people. I see people, all kind of people, and somehow I can understand them, even if they are evil for the general society. Then of course I have my things, and I'm working. These things is like these wounds that I have from my childhood, from my history, from my other's life, maybe. I work on them through my partner and through my child, but I have also, I'm very patient with my children, but I'm not patient, for example, with my husband. So it's something that I'm working. Yeah, patience for me, as I'm telling you that I'm slow, but I'm learning to be really slow, because always my mind don't want to go this way, you know. So I can tell you that patience for me is a very important thing in my life to think about and to feel it. And of course I love listening to people, listening stories. This way I can learn, and then I'm a person who instead of studying, investigating, I need to do it, you know. I need to get wrong, and I'm learning as well to accept this, because before it was a little hard for me, because I was looking for perfection, and I'm not like this, you know. I'm like getting wrong, mistakes, and then I learn about it. And of course I'm learning to put some humor, you know, to laugh at all my mistakes. And it's really amazing when I tell people like this, you know, they laugh a lot with me, and somehow life is easier, you know, it's lighter, You don't have so much weight in you, so much. And this is something that I'm learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's enough for now.
It's really funny. I'm the next thing I'm curious about is what shaped you to be like this, because the funny thing is we are coming from, well, completely different points in the globe. And if I was to describe myself, I would use exactly the same sentences. I would say my brain is faster than what I want, like what I can do. Then I would say I have to learn patience, or I would love to learn patience. I would probably say everything about me is curiosity. So it's really interesting that, you know, completely different cultures and completely different societies, and then you have a point which is very similar. So I'm curious, what do you think are the events that have shaped you to be the person you are? Like some childhood ones or some later ones, whatever you choose to share.
I don't know exactly. Uh, I remember I had a very, this is my memories, okay? I had a very happy childhood with my family. We traveled a lot through Spain. And yes, and I remember I was really happy in the school, even when I got punished. I remember to enjoy when they punished me, like writing like 100 times a phrase to remember to be good. But I was enjoying this moment. I remember sitting in a table with the sun, through the window, and I was just there, and I enjoyed a lot. And then when I was a teenage, somehow my world uh, exploded. My friends, they told me something that I couldn't understand. They didn't like me. They, this kind of natural thing that between teenagers and everything. But somehow I started to live with the good things and the bad things, and somehow I disconnected with myself there. And I wanted to be a good girl. And then I started to have this neurosis that we all have, like, oh, my feelings, but I don't like my feelings. I'm not supposed to think like this or to be like this. And it was a hard time, a hard time. I'm living a very easy life comparing to others, but it's the life I have. So I don't complain, and I'm not saying anything else, no. But and then it was a hard time for me, and I didn't know what to do, what to study. Yes, it was voice, but always judging myself and also a little bit the others. And then I started doing music, but I was not feeling good there. I always comparing with the others, like feeling different from the others, not happy. And when I was 21 years old, I thought, it must be something different in life. It cannot be this. And then I met a person who is a very special person for me, like my first therapist, but it was my friend. We were in the university together, and she was starting this path of 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 knowing herself and being there for the others, and she helped me a lot. And then I started with all this vocabulary, like, yes, I have to love everything. I don't need to be, I don't need to be ashamed of anything. I don't need to be afraid. But I was being like this, it's like, yeah, I don't need to be like this, but I was being like this. So then you entered in this spiritual world, and watch out, because somehow you are acting like in ideals and not with yourself. And of course we have fears. We are angry to people. of course, because we have a history, we are conditioned by the family, by society, and we thought it was the correct thing, and now we are learning that for maybe it's not correct for me, but it's not that I'm Buddha or I'm not illuminated, and after this 21 years old, I started in the other part, like, yes, flowing in life and blah, 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 no responsibilities. And of course, it's not this. And now after I had my first child, I started to ground myself and to see really the pain in me. And I think it's been like the most painful moment in my life after I got birth my first child. So yes, my child came to teach me, also my partner, that we are like really opposite and we have to work a lot. So I think this is more or less my story.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you say how we start to integrate a lot of shoulds in what we are, and instead of thinking of this is what I am now and then acting from that space. So I'm also curious about something you said, that you have lived through your biggest pain, and it's something that we always kind of find ways to deflect. And in the other interview I listened, you actually said that you finally managed to sit with that pain and to observe it and to look at it. And I'm curious, how is that process for you? How is it looking at this pain, and what helped you in your everyday life to go through it?
What I realized that for me is a real truth is that life is intensity, is pleasure, and it's pain, and it's everything. And normally we are protected from the pain, from the bad side. But integrating the both sides is for me the most important thing to live a life that is really alive, and I had a revelation when I was, I don't know, 25, 26, while I was having a little pastry of marijuana. And somehow I could see that if I wanted to be the person that I really wanted to be, I had to confront all my fears. And for me, it was too much. So I forgot about this. And then I've lived all these fears. For example, I can tell you, my one of the worst fears was not to be loved and to be rejected. And I lived this with a group. When I left it, well, before before leaving the group, I was feeling that they didn't understand me. I was a mom. I was having a lot of troubles to enjoy, not the concerts, because with the concerts I was healing myself, but the other things, and they didn't understand. And somehow I was blaming at them, but I realized that no, they don't understand me. And to not connect with this pain, to feel that the people that you are with, they don't understand you. So I was blaming them, but it's not true, because it was all my responsibility. And of course, they don't understand me, but okay, it's okay, they cannot understand me. And of course, I was with my neurosis and doing this, changing, blah, 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 normal. So one of the things is when I left the group, I hoped that they would, embrace me and loving me the way I was thinking. And it didn't happen, but it didn't mean that they didn't love me, they didn't care for me, but it was their way. So this was a very, very good, learning for me. To go through this pain. Yes, okay, they don't understand me, but the person who needs to understand myself, it's me. And also my partner know that his illusion was traveling with me, doing music with me, with this group and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, wow, Sandra is not the person that I thought it was. And of course, it was painful for me to see this on him and not blaming him, no? And in general, this fear, I think we have, it's a common fear, no? Not to be loved, not to be recognized. And yeah, and some fears more, but yeah, I cried a lot. But while I was crying, I was liberating myself. So I was feeling, somehow I was crying and feeling really bad, but I was feeling that it was correct. It was really real, it's like, yes, now I'm living my life.
Yeah. Wow. I have gone through a very similar process with another trigger. You are almost kind of breaking up with your group, and I was breaking up a long relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I just remember this feeling of you want to be called back. Like there is this fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
That if you are abandoned, you will not survive.
Yeah, this is,
like you're dead. It's like it's almost like if you do this, you're just going to disappear. And I actually had last week an interview with a psychologist which has mentioned that I asked him what is that we are afraid of when we are going into therapy, and he said that basically we are afraid of to remove these illusions and actually confront the pains, and that the core fear all of us as primates have is to be abandoned, because when we were children, we would die. So it's almost like when we are adults, we need to confront this illusion, to just break it and to realize, no, this fear, that fear is illusion. I'm not dying.
Yeah.
But it's still, it feels like once in your life you have to go through this process of dying, of experiencing it as death. So it's incredibly brave, I think, what you have done. It's wonderful. And actually, what I want to ask here, I think it's a good moment to bring the concept of success, because when I was watching you, I wanted your life. I was like, I want this freedom. I want to sing like so free and to experience, like to, express myself in the way she does, and to be listened and seen. And then I'm realizing now I can be listened and seen in a different way, in this way that we are doing now. So I am curious about what you think about success now, and actually what was your illusion of success maybe.
Wow, I'm really, really thankful for having this conversation with you, because the message that I really want to transmit to all the people that maybe were fascinated by me and wanted my life is just to tell them this, it's all an illusion. You have your own life, and this is the big treasure for you, no? And for me, success never was to be famous, or I don't know. It's, for me, it's weird, this, and for me, success is just to feel connected with myself, to feel deep inside that I'm living my life. And I didn't have this feeling while I was touring. But of course, I'm really thankful as well for touring and to meeting all the people that I met and to sing. It's not that I'm rejecting all this, it's that it helped me to go through the life I have now. And of course, I want to keep singing, and I'm doing it, but I want to do it in my own way. And yes, I just want to give this message, that people are, each person is perfect the way it is, and you need to trust this, because with this deep feeling that you are living your life with your own decisions, then you will have the strength to go through all the pain and the pleasure that life has, because it's not only that we avoid pain, we also avoid pleasure. We can talk a lot about sexuality, pleasure, because it's the same. When we are avoiding pain, we avoid the pleasure of life, Yes, this. I don't know if I went to other.
No, I love that you do that, because actually the reason also I started doing this podcast is to really bring a new narrative. And I think that narrative doesn't have to be perfect. I'd rather explore life. And then, from that kind of exploration, something perfect or seemingly perfect will come out.
Yeah.
But, and actually that brings me to one other thing that you were mentioning in the other interview, is that now you don't really know yet what you're offering, and you're navigating this space of I may be this, or I may be that, or it's like this, and people are maybe confused, but it's okay. And that, I think, it's very liberating in a world where we all try to present a perfect picture, almost like I have it all figured out. So now you will come to me and I will take away your power and I will give you the answer. And what you're doing, for me at least, is very beautiful, is you're actually giving the power to people by admitting your own confusion, by admitting your own vulnerability. So I, again, think it's very brave, and I'm curious, what is your process now around this?
Well, I think I have more clarity now after my 33 years old. Yes, now Mattia, maybe you don't know, Mattia left the group, my partner.
I did not know.
Yes, he did. He was suffering there as well. And it was really hard for him also, because he created the group, He was the founder with Robindro, that he's not more with them. So the foundation, they left. And now it's really nice, because all the visions that I had, like 3-4 years ago, traveling with the group, I had the vision that I wanted to travel, but I didn't want to travel like this. I wanted my home with wheels. I wanted to travel being a mom and being respected for that, with my tempos and with my velocity and my way. And now everything is happening. My second child, that he is called Aluna, and it means the thread that the sacred thread that unites everything. And now today we are buying a big house with wheels, caravan, and we will start with Italy. We are moving to Italy. We are living in Italy now. And we want to play everywhere, but not only play, because it's like we have music already, but also we want to talk about life, to talk about voice, no, because voice is manifestation of life, of who you are. So working with the voice is a good process to connect with this and to be aware of more things about you. And we want to do this, and in a very slow way. And when he left the group, some big door opened to us. We went to Italy 3 weeks with a van, house van that we rent, and magical things happened to us. So more signs that we are there. And I feel my mission now. I'm in my mission of life. Even I have a baby of 4 months that of course I'm with him, but also he brought me the message. You know, there are people that have mothers that they have a really big energy to be with their children, and like, you know, they have a very mother energy. I'm not like this. I'm not. I need my space even from the beginning, but now I'm finding the balance. And my second child is very independent since the beginning, and it's weird for a baby, but he has this message for me that I need to be in my mission of life. You know, he's there, but to accompany me. I'm there to accompany him, but I'm not. I don't need to be there all the time. And I am able. I have the power to do everything with him. And this is what I saw while traveling through Italy, that I met people that invited me and my partner to be there, to do concerts, to do workshops, and it's everything easy. When you start making your own decisions, maybe at the beginning is because you have to confront all the fears and everything, and it's hard to do it. But then, while you are trespassing this, you will see that everything seems more natural, more flowing, you know? So this is what is happening now. And I really feel that I'm in my path, talking about life, about voice, and singing, of course.
And this is also the thing about motherhood, and what you're describing is also something I envision for myself as well. And it's releasing control. And it's interesting, the shift you are making is towards embracing life and allowing things to fall into place, in kind of, instead of constantly inviting them and striving and wanting to be there. And I'm curious, for people who are listening, who maybe don't know how to start, what to do, what was your path there? How did you kind of released into the flow of life?
Well, I think I told you a little bit my story, but the thing was, somehow I had a big bitterness in deep inside, no? And I thought, hey, no, you know, this is not the life that I want. And then I started realizing how my mind was cheating on me, you know, was lying to me. and I think, you know, this is the message that I wanted to give you and to give the people, is that sometimes we think that the most important thing is to follow our dream, but we don't realize that this dream that we are following is just a construction of our minds of what it should be a dream. For example, when you see me singing, you think, oh yes, I have this dream, I would like this, no, because you have me in front of a lot of people, blah blah blah. This is like maybe the ideal dream, but we need to ground this. This is not real. This is not real. And a lot of people that, I will help you to accomplish your dream. No, this is not true. The only dream you can get is to make the correct decisions for yourself, moment to moment. Because if you really are connected to you, moment to moment, and you make the good, it's not that they are good or bad, but the correct decisions for you in that moment, that maybe then you can change, it doesn't matter. Then your path will be your dream, because yes, I want this. So then I start thinking how I can get this. No, just center yourself moment to moment. And of course, this would mean that maybe when you make a decision that don't like that, I don't know, your partner, your family, your friends, I don't know, your boss, they don't like this decision, then you have to leave the pain, not to be loved. What we talked about, the abandon, the primary wound that we all have. Yes. Because when we are ourselves, it's impossible to be liked for everyone.
And for everything.
And for everything, yes. And this is important, for everything. No? I do this and maybe you love, but then you don't understand. But if you are connected with yourself, then you will ask me, hey, I feel, and this is the way we need to learn to cooperate. Really being ourselves and then cooperate and talking, communication.
Yes, yeah. It's a very interesting thing you're mentioning. But I had a snippet of inspiration when you were telling about that all of us that were watching you had this feeling of the success you had. It's what is interesting. And I experienced very similar things that people will tell me, but you have done this and this and this, and you should be happy. But how is it that you don't feel like this? It feels like it took even more energy to validate your own feelings. And I'm curious, what helped you to validate your feelings? For me, it really was, I had to go to therapy. I really had to. There was no, it almost like it was impossible for myself to do it for myself. But I'm curious, what helped you to say, what I feel is valid, is mine, it's okay?
Yeah. Well, I've been in therapy a lot, I've done a lot of things, a lot. They came to my life, these kind of things, I don't know, different kind of therapies, also with the voice, and then also I love my, I call my medicine, my mother medicine, who is ayahuasca. Mm-hmm. Also, that I did just one. Yeah, so some days before I left the group, I did the last concert. I did my first ayahuasca, and it was a really, I could see a lot of things. Yes, yeah. The thing is that I think it's normal that you have to go to therapy or not, because each one is different, But I think it's a good path to start seeing things outside, that people can help you, therapy can help you. But at the end, the most important thing is that yes, to trust myself and to be aware of your mind, because the thing is, your mind will never stop. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that mine is bad, no, because it you can use it for a
lot of good
things, no. But it's bad when you feel something and your mind is like blah 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 blah, and then you have to know that it will be always like this, and it's fun when you realize, because somehow you can, okay, yes, but what I feel is this. And your mind, of course, is going through your fears. And it's good because then you are aware of your fears and, okay, so yes, I have to feel this. Yes. It's very painful, but yes. And is your mind telling you? Is your mind protecting you? So it's a clue, no? Okay, my mind is trying to protect me from this. I'm gonna live this, you know? So, yeah. And of course, you need the message repeated all over again. And from your therapists, from your friends, from the guru that you see on video on YouTube, it doesn't matter. But, the message is you need to trust you. And to go there, you need to go to the pain.
Yeah.
And of course, we have this wound of abandon. So we need someone who embrace this, no? And sometimes the therapists do.
Yeah, that's true. I actually really like that you show plethora of options.
Yeah.
Because I guess all of us will have different things resonating, and I don't think there should be shoulds again when it comes to pain. Yeah. And I'm curious as well, all of these experiences. So you are talking about ayahuasca. What do you make of them? Because do you live in them and bring them to reality? Or do you think of something divine? What is the way you conceptualize all of these kind of experiences?
Okay, yeah. With this, I want to tell you something that I realized, and I think it's very important. At the beginning, when I started with in all this spiritual world, when I would go to to some retirement, or when I would do some therapy, then I would come home and feel like, oh yes, I have the clue, I have the panacea. Now I'm going to be happy. I remember, or like I'm rejecting all my previous life. And it's not about this. And somehow, and I still have it a little bit, but now I can see it very clear, no? Of course, when you do therapy, when you do some retreatment, when you do ayahuasca, you have these revelation moments, you have these illuminating moments, maybe, and then you always want to be like this. Mm-hmm. When you're in therapy, you feel embraced, you feel recognized, and then you go home, and it's the opposite, maybe, no? So it's important to know that you have to accept your own path and to start laughing about this, really, and to talk. The other day we were with the parents of the school that we are with our children, and me and Mattia started to talking bad about each one, like, yeah, because laughing, and the others were like, oh yes, we need to do this more because we don't dare to do this. And then I started asking them, hey, you say something wrong about you, tell me how you are crazy. And then we started laughing and everything. And it's true that we are not used to this. And of course, there are people like this, huh? Each one of us has their own neurosis, their own protection. But yeah, it's very good to start laughing about the process, because if not, you're always like, oh, what I've done, I was wrong. Now I know. No, you don't know shit. And you had to live all your way back to be where you are now. Yeah. So this is important for me.
I really like that. I have that feeling when you go home to your parents or to someone who knows you for a long time, and they actually make fun of you. And then you're like, yes, I'm always 15 minutes late. So, it's kind of part of me. It's not like a bad thing. It's not that I killed a man
Yeah.
kind of thing. Actually, I also wanted to ask you there, what happens to me, and it just happened yesterday, and I was reflecting on this morning, is when you go through this path, there is a certain inkling of need. I want everyone to see this.
Yes.
I want everyone to experience this. Like, I was like, I can bring this to you. I've been through this, and yesterday I went through this and I was like, oh my God, Alexandra, like that's not even how your therapist works with you. She would never tell you these things. She would always be just the facilitator. How is it that now you are going into the world and trying to control it again? So I'm curious, you mentioned something along these lines in the other interview. So I'm just wondering, how do you kind of play with this now?
Yes, yes, yes. I know exactly what you say. Wow. Yeah. Yes, it's like, oh yes, now I have the answer. Let me help you.
Yes.
World. Yes, yeah. I'm a little bit like this. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you feel this you follow this feeling, and then you are like, someone how do you say, someone tears you down, like, because of course you only can help the people who ask you, and of course I've done it many times just to talk without being asked, and it doesn't work. I can tell you, it doesn't work. And I keep trying from time to time, to tell these things, and no, but yeah, it's, I have this, and then, but the big thing is when someone like you, for example, someone is asking you this, then I'm the happiest person of the world. And of course, then I have, you have this podcast. I have my own channel through Instagram, and I'm doing the things I love. And I can tell you something that I realized these past days. More I'm doing what I love in Instagram, I follow. I how to say? I have less followers. Not a lot less, but it's like people erased from following me, no?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, a little bit, but then it's like, this is a good sign that I'm doing the correct thing, because of course you don't need to, and also me, we don't need to waste time following and to see what people is doing if we are not really interested on this, and we are used we want to see everyone's life and to see what everyone's doing, and it's not good for you. The thing is that we don't have much time in life, and so follow only the things that you are really interested in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And actually now I would like to come to the voice, and to talk a little bit, how did you discover your voice, or how did you kind of match what is on the inside with what comes on the outside?
I did it with the group, with Barcelona Gypsy Balkan Orchestra, because before that I was judging myself, comparing myself a lot. And with them, the good thing was that I had no idea about this music. The funny thing, I had no idea about Eastern music, Balkan music, no idea. But when they called me, I just planned a trip through the Balkans. So it was, the perfect timing. Life. This is the funny life. And then when I came back, I could, during the trip, I could hear a little bit, but not a lot. And then when I came back, I met these people, And also, I wanted to travel all around the world. I wanted to go abroad to live. But then I met these people, and I was like, with the Serbian, with the Greek, with the French. So I was traveling, in my daily life with all this culture around me. So I didn't have expectations because I didn't, I didn't know this music. I was just playing. People seemed to like it. So yeah, I was really playing, like not playing music, but playing like a game. So this helped me a lot. And of course, this music is a root music, no? So also you can have the voice there really grounded. Um, so yes, it was with a group, and as we were doing a very slow working process, I could feel everything, also every judgment, every comparison. I remember that the first year in the summer, this Nihan from Turkey, that now we are really good friends, she came, and suddenly I was comparing myself, no? And then I could go through this very slowly, and it allowed me to, okay, yes, really, what is happening? And yeah, I started discovering all these. And of course, when I had my first child, during pregnancy, I could feel very grounded, very connected to my body. And then suddenly, without doing any technique, anything, I had the most amazing voice, because I was just embodying myself. And I learned a lot about this. Yeah, this was the point, for me. No expectations and feeling in my body.
And also, I was curious, you were singing songs that were not on your own language.
Uh-huh.
And when I saw you singing, and when I hear you to this day, it's you. It's like I'm hearing my grandpa singing. It's that level of feeling that you have, and I'm wondering. How did you experience a region, a kind of music that you haven't grown up with?
This is something that I don't know because, as I told you, I don't like studying. It's not that I'm like there, because I know there are singers that do this,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
In fact, at the beginning, always, I used to sing the songs and I got wrong with the lyrics because what happened on the stage is something that goes beyond me. And maybe I studied the lyrics. Of course, I have to study because if not, but when I'm on the stage, it's like I forget, and I need to be on this state one and time and time to really learn the sounds. Uh, but I realized after all these years, because at the beginning I was feeling a little bit like I was cheating. I don't like studying. I got wrong, but it's something beyond this. Is I have this in me. This is my gift. I connect with ancestor. I connect with what I call, now that I'm preparing something new that I will tell you. I connect with the origin of sound, the origin of all your sounds, because all of us have original sound. So it's something, my gift. I cannot understand. But then I sing gospel and it's the same. I sing African music and it's the same. It's all about roots and the origin.
Yeah, I understand that because it just for me was more not even about the lyrics, but what you understand was the soul.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's incredible. Like, I see you close your eyes and your hand movements are exactly the same movements I make when I sing Zapevala Sojka Ptica or something like that. And for me, that experience that you had was just incredible. That something that, we are talking about a world where people don't understand even the slightest differences. Like imagine Serbia or Balkans. We are all the same. And we are 10 countries which are still fighting around whose song is Zapevala Sojka.
Yeah. Yes.
And then you come from a completely different space and you kind of push through these barriers of differences and you become one. And so for me, that was my curiosity is how is it possible that like you would be considered so different, yet you manage to feel the soul. So I think you partially answered this, but if you have anything to add on that, it will be.
Because in the origin we are all the same, or maybe not in the origin, maybe at the end, I don't know, but there's something so common. Life at the end is the love of life, what you talked about, the love of life, trusting life. If you were born, how you cannot trust the life you were given? Oh my God, do something, not complain anymore. Do something with your talent. And maybe your talent is just to shape spoons with wood. I don't know. But you will sell this with love. And this is what we need. This is what the world needs.
Yeah. I mean, actually, this is exactly what I'm experiencing with a lot of people, even like in partner relationships, when someone like almost wants to be who I want the person to be. And I'm like, no, like it's almost like I immediately make like this movement of rejection. It's like, I can't love you for you being who I want you to be. I need to love you for who you exactly are. Yeah. Otherwise there is this feeling of control and you don't want to control anything or anyone. I'm now curious to hear about what you are planning for us.
Yes. So look, my idea, my intuition, I will tell you my intuition and what I'm preparing now, and maybe in the future it will change, but more or less it goes there, is that I want to, it's the first time I explain this. I want to bring to the people not only my voice, but also my listening. I want to listen to the people. I want to listen to each voice of the people that come to see me. And we are preparing with my partner a ritual that maybe it will be called your original voice. Mm-hmm. We don't know yet, but it will be there, something. And it will be, of course, we will do concerts, but also as we plan to travel very slow, we want to be in a place like 2 weeks or 1 week. For example, now we go to Liguria and we stay there 2 weeks. I will do a workshop, then ritual, then concert, then again workshop and ritual maybe. So if I go to where do you live?
In London.
London, yes. Okay. Okay. But maybe I go to London, but I think more if I go to Belgrade, mm-hmm. I will stay, 2 weeks, for example. And I want to do a concert maybe with we will be 3-4 musicians that we want to collaborate with musicians from there. In Italy, we are doing this. In Sicily, we are collaborating with musicians there. So we will do a concert with the people that want to come. And then another day, I want to do a ritual that it will be with, I don't know exactly how many people, but not a lot, maybe 10 or 11 or 20, I don't know yet. And we will start really freely, maybe with sounds or and maybe in Spanish, and then the sound will invite people to sing with their own sounds, and we will do weird sounds, and I will start doing not the voice that you are used to hear, but other sounds. So yes, I want to listen to the original voices of the people and to be free to express ourselves. And then, of course, workshops. But what for me is really essential is to hear the sounds. And for example, in Balkans, for me, is really important because I learned so much from the original sounds in their culture, from their music, that I want this from them, no? That they can be freely like this. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. I'm very curious. I am sure there will be a moment where I'll catch you somewhere on your journey. Yes. But I was thinking while you were saying a lot of these things. So I had this one experience when I was with a friend who is also a very, very good singer in Bali, and he invited me on a jam session, and there was just people there, and everyone was producing whatever was coming from them in the moment. And it was the first time I felt free to express. And I always think how far we have come in our music without judgment. So I don't want to judge the modern music, the fact that we can measure everything, but it's almost like it's performance instead of expression. And originally, it was used for expression.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to me to see how much, if you want to tune yourself and use a piano, and you're like, you have to remember this sound. This is la, and then you're like kind of raping your brain into making that connection. But at least for me, what if we can tune by listening to each other? And I don't know, like what you were describing, that experiential part is really like you tuned yourself through other people. So I'm just wondering, did I make this? Is this impression correct, or is it something that you lived, or it's just me projecting into you?
No, I understand totally what you're saying. Yeah, for me, maybe I changed a little bit, but I connected with this. I judged it myself as well. When I left the group, I wanted to do some music,
Mm-hmm.
Like people deserve to listen to your voice, I was thinking. And I started thinking, what music? And I didn't have the will of composing or creating or even learning new songs. Like I'm going to search new songs and blah, blah, blah. So I realized that my connection with music is this one that I just told you. Now, I don't know, later, no? My partner has another way of connection to music, another way. And it's hard for us to work together because we need to confront our fears while we are working. Because we need to accept, when you accept your own way and don't judge it, then you can accept the other. So we are working on it. And we want to talk about this, no? Because it's very, very interesting. And so what you're telling me, I connect a lot. And of course, I know that there are people that do that connect with other kind of ways to do music, no? They love experimenting. So of course, the modern music will come. But the most important thing is that you are doing what you feel, no? For example, maybe for a child, it come along that they know what la is. because they have this sensitivity, they have this intelligence. But of course, what we cannot do is pretend that everyone goes there. You want to learn music? So you go there. And this is what I'm learning with my son, that you've seen the video, no? Me singing with my son. But you need to know that my son now, he's rejecting somehow music. He doesn't play now. He do other stuff. He's climbing all the trees and the mountains and playing with toys and but I know he has this inside, and when he wants to do it, and what he does now is what he's playing with toys and how do you say people like personajes. He's doing sounds and he's creating songs like very boom 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 boom, boom with sounds, and this is how he expresses himself through voice. And then he goes to a drum and he does like pa, 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 so let the children free to choose their interests. This is so important. This is really so important.
And actually, when you were talking about wanting to work with people and letting people free, there was also one thing that I remember in the interview is saying you want to work one-to-one. And I'm always as well having this feeling that it is so difficult to serve many people at once, because inevitably you will have to generalize, and then inevitably there is some loss of freedom. And so I'm curious, what is your current thinking about this, and how do you think about integrating individualism, like differentiation, into what you're trying to do?
Yeah, this is very interesting because as maybe I'm studying human design, and well, I can feel it, but then human design comes and tell me that this is it, no? When you are in a group, individuality somehow is lost. And it's not bad, but then it's really important that you go home and you connect again with your individuality, no? It's like, okay, I felt this, and now what is left for me, for my essence? So this is a message that I want to transmit every time. This is really important for me. And then it's something that I'm thinking about, because now that I have a baby, I don't have so much time. I have students that want to do individual session, and I don't know exactly when, maybe when I'm in Italy in October, I will restart to do these individual sessions. But it's really interesting, and I'm still thinking about it. I don't have an answer. Also, I love the image of how is she called? Ibramovic, you know her, the performer, Marina
Abramovic.
Abramovic. Yeah, I have always this image when she is, about this performance, the last one she did, that she was looking in the eyes.
Just sitting at the table and
and she had this moment with each one,
Mm-hmm.
So I have this image. I don't know yet how to, but somehow when I go to a city, when I go to a place, it's true that I have this vision of being able to somehow have this little moment with each one of the people. I don't know, with the eyes, maybe with the sound, maybe with the question. I don't know if I'm able, or if the people will pay for it. I don't know, but it's something that I have in my mind.
And the last question in this part is when you say pay, and it's something I'm constantly thinking about, like money, and how do you bring out your value?
Yeah.
And it's very difficult, especially because you work so much on your insides, but that's not something that is recognized as work. And then you come as a new Sandra going through all of this pain that can offer so much, but doesn't know how to put value on it. And I'm curious, what's your value of values?
Yeah, this is really one of the themes of the world, no? Money and how we are related with money. You know, it's something that I'm experimenting. I'm in a process. I don't have an answer, as I had answers for other things, no, that I'm integrating. Money is not something that I have integrated, but I'm just I'm at peace with this for now. What I know is that money is the energy that gives us the opportunity to keep doing things, to keep offering things. You know, we think the contrary normally is like, I'm doing something valuable, I have to get paid. And somehow, if you think the contrary, like the money that I have is something that I can use to create new things and offer again, this is something that I like, but I still don't understand and integrate in myself. But of course, it's what I was telling you. When you live moment to moment and when you make the decisions correct for you, you will see that all these things just clear something, no? Just and yes. And when I'm now that we are creating this and with a baby and everything, what we see is that we don't want to force things, but when we are there, like open to the people, things arrive. Mm-hmm. You know, I was in Italy and I met this girl that after 5 minutes of knowing me, she didn't know me, not the group, not anything, just talking, she said to me, I think I found in you the person that I was looking for so many months. She had a money just reserved for working her voice and the voice of all the community that she's living in. So she just saw me and she somehow recognized this, you know. And she has the money. And she's not rich, but she wanted. So somehow at the moment I'm connecting with the people that can recognize me, and somehow they put the value. Of course, I need to put my own value, and this is so important, no? But yeah, moment to moment, decision by decision, I think.
Yeah, I understand that. And the next thing I want to ask you is several small rapid fire questions. And one of them is, what is a book, a present, or an idea that you like to gift people the most?
A book, I can choose between them.
Yes.
The idea that the big treasure is in you, is in what you are, in your small decisions. This is the best. And you don't need to justify, you just need to go with your correct answer.
Yeah. And validate.
To live with this, all the pain and all the pleasure that it will come from this.
Yes, that's. We will let that sink in for just a second. And the next thing is, what is an absurd thing about you that not many people might know about?
Absurd
Absurd thing about you that not many people know about.
But you mean absurd, like absurdity?
Like, yes, like something that no one would think Sandra Sangao does or is, or...
Yeah, for example, I'm not, how do you say, I'm not a very organized person. And I'm always struggling with this, because I have my mom telling, not my mom physically, but the idea, like, but since I started telling me that I'm not an untidy person, I'm just expansive, I do like this with all my objects. Yes. Yes.
And then what kind of compliments, if any, do you like to receive?
The ones you gave me.
Oh, that's cool.
People that recognize me for who I am, not who project the I am,
Okay, that is beautiful. And the last one, what are the things that we have become more and what are things that become less important to you with age? And we were talking about your birthday. So what has shifted?
Well, yeah, for me, I've learned to take care of daily basis, like moment to moment. This is to really connect with what I feel now. Because it's so easy to project with the mind is going so fast. So, okay. And of course it will do this, keep doing this, but it's just, for me, it's really important to remind myself to breathe. Yes, breathing. We didn't talk about breathe, and this is so important. So yes, breathing, to go back. Am I breathing? Or am I blocking things? No? Breathe, yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. One of my yoga teachers, she actually said that the breath also tells a lot about the personality. Some people cannot inhale, so they cannot receive. And some people cannot exhale or don't exhale and they don't let go. And it's always having that awareness of what do you intake and how much do you release is so important. So thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, I work with this, exactly. The words you said, I work with this in my voices class.
Yeah. And actually, you asked the question in the last interview to the next person, which was, what was the most surprising thing you discovered about yourself recently that you just didn't expect that to be inside of you?
Can you repeat?
So what is the most surprising thing that you have discovered inside of you that you were not aware it's there?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I discovered that I'm more active than I thought, that I need to do what I feel right away. If not, it's lost. Mm-hmm. And I need to do this more. And if I start thinking, it doesn't work anymore. I need to just go for it and get wrong.
Yes, I know. That's exactly my discovery. And I'm constantly these days thinking, just do it. Just do it.
And with the baby and with the other, my son is like, now? It's 4 a.m. I have to rest. No, do it now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I really want to thank you for the opportunities to share all of this with you and to share this time and space and moment. And I'm really happy to what you're bringing to the world, and I really want to acknowledge you for that. And is there something that you always wanted to be asked, but you never heard that question that we can finish this off on?
No, I just feel the need to tell you that you are amazing. I can see it in your eyes and in your smile, and I'm very thankful for what you brought into my life. That it's this interview, and yeah, I'm happy to meet you. Yeah, really.
Thank you. You have just heard the story of Sandra Sangao, a Spanish-born singer, mom, and explorer. As we have heard, her gift is the voice, and her passion is exploring life, human beings, and the original sound of each one of us. You can follow her adventures on Instagram at Sandra Sangao and Facebook, and you can find information about her workshops, music, and thoughts on her website www.sandrasangao.com. Thank you for joining me for this episode, and I hope you will come along with me on this journey.